to Miki Car Beauty Fam. I'm Miki Carrico, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and beauty. And in today's video I will be doing a first impressions and review of a part of the SUQQU Pre Holiday Collection 2022. So I was able to pick up two of the limited edition quads, so these two here, and then I'll be doing a look of this quad along with some other SUQQU products I have. And then I was able to pick up the corresponding blush for this. And then I did a review, which I have on my eyes now, of this cool tone beautiful quad along with this kind of berry mauve purple blush and highlighter, purple highlighter, and this new Tone Touch product on my eyes as well. And so if you're interested in seeing how I got this look and another look, which is the warmer tone quad, then keep watching. Okay, so this is the finished eye look with the limited edition quad 118. And I haven't finished my lipstick and I'll do that now, but this is the quad GENSOUYA, GENSOUYA. Decided not to get any of the lipsticks or blush with the corresponding quad. I just have so much SUQQU and I have colors that will do really well with this palette. So I wanted to show you this blush I have from SUQQU. This is the SUQQU Pure Color Blush in 127. And it's this beautiful, really kind of orangey and yellow blush highlighter combo. And I knew I had this in my collection, so I wasn't going to buy any of the blush corresponding. I wasn't really keen on what they had as a blush either. So let me go into this part here. This is the Squirrel Hair Brush by Wangos 02. I'll just kind of show you how this looks. And a lot of people love the melting powder blush, which I'm one of them. I also think this other original formula is just as beautiful. It isn't as luminizing as the other one. This is, you can see this is definitely more of a matte, but their blushes for SUQQU are just gorgeous. Look at that color. I mean, you might think that it turns out a lot more orange, but at least on my complexion, it's just like an orangey coral. And I'm putting probably way too much, but I'm just doing it for the purposes of the video so you can see how pretty this blush is. And I think you might still be able to find this. If so, then I'll put it down below. And now I'm gonna go into the lighter shade or the highlighter. Some people swirl it together. So if you want more of a luminous blush, you would swirl it together. But I'm gonna show you for the purposes of this video how you can use these two separate items. One as a highlighter and one as a blush. You see that? So that yellow gold, I'm using that as a highlighter. Okay, so that is the SUQQU Pure Color Blush in 127. Such a pretty shade. Found 3 lipsticks that might look really beautiful on this. And also I didn't get any lipsticks from this collection, from this pre-holiday release, because again, I didn't really like any of the colors. I think what I remember is that they were that, I don't think any of them were the liquid fluid fogs or glows, which are my favorite, nor were they the moisture rich lipsticks. I can't remember, but I just wasn't really attracted to any of those colors. I have a lot of SUQQU already, so I wanted to use what I have. So I wanted to pull out 3 of the colors that I think would look really beautiful. So these are like really kind of like fall, warm tone, or neutral. So let me swatch these for you. This is the SUQQU number 04, and this is the lip glow formula. And the way you tell between the glow and the fog is that the glow is actually it's glowy, right? There's like a glowy laminate, and then the matte or the fog is a matte container. Okay, so this one is a glow. This is my favorite brown color, which I haven't seen replicated anywhere in the market. If you have, let me know. But this is what also SUQQU is known for, is that because it's based in Japan, they just have really, really unique color stories for lips and blushes. That's one of my favorite colors out of all of these. 109, I think this was a previous release, so this is likely a limited edition. 109, that's more of a cool tone rose. You can see that's a little bit more matte, but that will look really well too. This next one is 102, it's also limited edition. It's definitely more of a pink. So let's see, would this look, which one would look nice? Well, let's go backwards. So let's go with this latest one. This is 102. Really beautiful. It's like my perfect nudie color. So 102. That looks fine. A little more pink. This one is 109. This one right here. Okay, so this is 109. Also really, really pretty. This one here. 109. I think I like this one for the look. It's a little bit more brown, even though it's kind of more of a neutral. Yeah, I like this one better than the last one. The last one is the 04, which I believe is likely still available. The other two are not, or they'd be really hard to find. And this is 04, the lip glow. And I think this one matches this look more spot on. I almost think that it might match too much, but you let me know. What do you think? This is the 04. It might be nice that it's the other one, because then there's a little bit more contrast and it's not too matchy. Okay, so that's the 109. I think that's really pretty. It's not as orange, so it doesn't compete so much, because I have a lot of orange going on here. So that's this one here. So let's talk about this look and this quad. I think it's much more prettier than when actually I was applying it. So when I was applying it, I was a little worried. The quality of these signature eye colors are different than the regular line, and it might have to do with the fact that they're pre-holiday. So traditionally, there's usually at least one matte, and it's in the upper right here. And then the top left is usually the glitter topper shade. And then there's kind of like a lighter shade and then deeper shade. And then these are, it can be vary, but they're not a topper. They're more like the shimmer shades. So we have this really pretty pink here and this kind of like rose goldy brown color. Super pretty together. What I did notice compared to the other signature color series, because I think there's glitter particles, or there's you know, there's like the holiday sheen, they're not as smooth and creamy as the other formula. And again, this is the glitter topper. It's almost like a duochrome. If you can see, it's kind of like a silver beige. And then this is just like the mustard, a matte mustard, which I wasn't going to get this palette, but I have a lot of mustard in my collection of my clothes, and I've been always trying to find a mustard that I can find. Just do a swatch here. But these are pretty. I think what I was experiencing for the first time is that, again, these were not as oily or smooth as the traditional formula. And let me just show you what I mean. This is the regular line of the SUQQU series, and this is 01. And these are a lot just smoother and creamier. This is a great kind of like cool tone palette. And you can see, I just feel like these are smoother because they don't have as much, they're like silky, there's a more oil in it, and there's not as much glitter. So I think because these have like more glitter in there and more zhuzh, it's a little bit drier and a little chunkier. Or these two holiday colors, it definitely felt like there was more fallout. So there is some fallout here. It's kind of, can you see it right here? I tried to wipe it away. So, you know, that's part of the holiday part, is that you're gonna have more glitter and glam. I was trying to have faith in the process and finish the look. And it wasn't until I did the eye makeup with tight lining. I ended up tight lining with the Jasper color in Chantecaille. This is my favorite color of Chantecaille in the formula for eyeliners, because it's this is a really nice brown that is very soft and gel-like and very creamy. And I tight lined with that. I finished my top lid with a liquid liner in Brune or Brown in Surat. This is one of my favorite eyeliners and liquid eyeliners. And just finishing with mascara on top and bottom, Matte Giga Black on bottom, and then Chantecaille Faux Cils on top. And I did my eyebrows because I think with this look, I wasn't going to go light, because here's the thing about SUQQU. I think in the aesthetic over there, it's just washes of color, which is fine, but that won't work for me to do a wash of color because I have tan brown skin, and I'm kind of like, it's got to be all or nothing, or else it's not going to show up. So I actually, on this eye, I initially started off with an Intensifies wand just so there would be more tack, but I found that actually it caused more texture on my lid. And then putting this on first and then these shades on top ended up making it more chunky looking. So I didn't do that for the second look. So, but I think this is beautiful. I just kind of wish this color popped more, and I guess I could go in. Here's the other thing about SUQQU to know, is that you don't want to over blend these colors. It's more just here, just like layering, blotting in, and I'm literally just using my fingers, and you see how it just amped up more of that pink color. So if I want more pink, or if I want more of the shimmer shade, I'm just gonna do that in the, right? Or if I want to lighten up even like this part here, just I can do that too. And it's gonna kind of change the color of, just lighten up that pinky red more, which I'm not mad about. I think it looks really pretty. It always surprises me. I think they're so beautiful when I open them, and then kind of like when I'm putting them on, if I start doing them too light, it doesn't work out, but then I have to like commit to actually building it up to make like a bold look, and then it looks better on me, at least from my experience, because look at my skin tone. It just has to show up more. And once I finish my eye look, then it looks really beautiful. I did finish the look with putting this on the topper in the inner corner, as you saw here, and then a little bit over there. I think I might like this pre-holiday set better than last year's. I don't think I was really happy with last year's. I can't remember. I have to look back, and I can put the colors here up above. This doesn't really look like a holiday palette to me. This, to me, if I were to release this, this would have been spring or a summer palette, but I guess I'm not mad about it because I really like it. I'm going to use it because obviously I have a lot of yellows and mustard in my wardrobe. And so this is the final look. Tell me what you think. For my base, I did the SUQQU Liquid Foundation in 35, and other details I'll put below, but I'm pretty happy with this look. Okay, so the eye look with this palette is done. It took a little fussing. There was definitely a lot more fallout on this one, especially with this color. It's just, you can even see it, there's kickback on the pan. It's just very, very crumbly. Okay, so we're gonna finish the look because I still have two more items from this collection. The Tone Touch, which I think is meant to go with this blue eyeshadow, purple look I have. So this is the 109, and this is the Tone Touch, and usually the Tone Touches are like these little singles, but this is the first time seeing them in this kind of almost like a lip gloss applicator. Really beautiful. Obviously it's one of my favorite colors. I think I'm gonna actually put this on my finger and then tap it out a bit, and then just do this. Okay, and you can see just amped up the look. This is with the tone touch and that's without. It also makes it a little bit lighter. So it's almost got maybe a duochrome, maybe multi-chrome. Let me see if I can show it to you. Do a bigger swatch. There we go. Definitely there's like light blue. There's some pink. And I want to say, in the light, it's hard to see. The naked eye, there's definitely a purple shift in there. And I'm not rubbing it in, I'm just tapping it in because I don't want to move the product already laid down. I'm going in a lot because why not at this point? I feel like this is an all-in kind of look with this shadow. It's supposed to be holiday. Okay, so super glam. Wow. Okay, so it's a lot. Maybe I should have looked and stopped a little bit before. I'm just wondering if I'm going to regret how much stuff is on my eye, because what I'm noticing already is that this blue formula, the blue purple formula, has a lot of fallout, and it's kind of like a ridiculous amount. Enough that it's bothering me. Not bothering my eyes, but it bothers me that there's fallout. So that was really pretty. You can see that just amped up the look. And the other tone touch was, I think it was a reddish color, and I don't really wear red on my eyes, so I wasn't gonna get that. But I definitely have a lot of blue in my collection, but not this particular blue, so I wanted to try that out. Tell me what you think. Really pretty. I'm filming the same day where I did the previous quad, which was orange and a yellow orange look, and so I did take off my makeup and a lot of my foundation and concealer under it, which was a good thing I did because I didn't have product down other than primer, and I put on this quad and there was so much fallout, so I had to clean it up, put more foundation on in this area, and then concealer, and you can't see the fallout. So this is what I would say, like, if you were gonna get any of these quads, for sure do your eye makeup first and then put concealer and foundation after, because it's going to be a hot mess if you don't. So that's the final look for the eyes. So that was really cool. I really like that. I'm glad I got that because I don't have anything in my collection like that. That's really unique, of just amping up the look to just, can you see it? That's so pretty. I love it. Actually, you know, I told you I did my foundation over, so I went over and covered up any previous blush I had, and also contouring that I had. Just gonna show you that everything's pretty flat here. Just went over with that SUQQU liquid foundation. It's a beautiful foundation. It's one of the, it's definitely more full coverage, but I think it's such a beautiful foundation. It reminds me a little bit more of like a even more elevated version of the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Okay, so this is the blush, the SUQQU Pure Color Blush in 135. And it's the same concept of the other blush that I use in the other color story. So it's not that melting powder formula. It's kind of a gradation. At once upon a time, there were 3 colors here. So it was like the orange, there was like a light orange, and then the shimmer yellow shade that could be used as a highlighter. But often I just swirl it. But in the last look I did, this is the matte blush, and then this is the highlighter. So I want to see, I'm going to do that this time as well and keep it separate. This is a Wayne Gross brush, a squirrel hair, and it's starting to shed. That is a shame. Okay, so I'm going in. You spend so much money on these few day brushes, and sometimes the quality is not as good as others. Okay, so we'll go with that and see. There's definitely a luminosity to it. I'm not saying, you know, I'm gonna switch brushes. Grabbing, and that has never happened with my Sonia G brushes, so knock on wood. So I'm grabbing my Sonia G cheek brush from the Lotus series. And not swirling because I don't want to lift up my foundation. And also just gives you a sense. I mean, this is how I like to lay down my blush as much as possible. There's definitely a sheen in here. It's almost, yeah, there's definitely a sheen in here. Can you see it? It's a cool sheen. It's almost like a pink cool sheen. I'm not mad about it. It looks really pretty compared to the other side. No blush. It's very soft. Definitely got a cool tone sheen, and I'm building it up a lot so you can just, for the sake of the video, you can see. I wouldn't wear this much blush otherwise. I'm gonna go into this shade here and use that as my highlighter. And because there's like a sheen on here, I almost feel like you don't need highlighter, but here we go. Oh, this is a fun one. It's definitely more purple. Do you see that? Okay, and I was gonna think about swirling all of it together, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it separate. Because you can see what happens when you start to swirl it. You lose some of that color again, the separateness of it. And this left side blush is pretty luminous as it is. It's like a deep berry color, which is so great for winter, fall. I'm just trying to see if it builds up. And to the naked eye, I can see some more of the berry tones. Birdie, I like that a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this here. Can finish with a highlighter. Okay, so that is the blush in 135 Pure Color Blush. Beautiful. Last thing is to pick my lip color. Okay, I can go with one of two colors here. That's very pink, and that's too pinky. This one here is 102. That's a good contender. 03. So this one's definitely available still. It's less cool tone. And this one is 103. This is one of my favorite ones, I think. Yeah, so it's like a very cool tone almost. Ooh, hard choices. Let's try with this one. And this is what I love about SUQQU, the lip fluid fogs. Almost every color I've tried in this lip fluid fog has always looked good on me. And that hasn't been the case in my experience with lipsticks in different products. Like the only two cosmetic companies where almost all the lipsticks look really pretty much good on me are Lisa Eldridge and SUQQU. And that's why I love those companies. Okay, that's pretty. Perfect. That's a nice cool tone pink. So what do you think? It looks really nice. So that again is 103. After the finished look, I'm really loving this blush. So glad I got it. It is so beautiful. Look at that. This is why people love their blushes so much. Probably even more than their eye quads. I don't know, it's hard to say. And this, really pretty too. Okay, so let's talk about the entire collection. Why don't we do that? Generally been working with ordering my SUQQU products directly from the Selfridges SUQQU counter for close to 2 years now. It seems like, I can't remember, 2 or 3 years. And they've been doing this thing now when a collection is released. They are inviting people who want to pre-order. They're inviting them to sessions where you meet with the makeup artist as a preview of the collection, and then you can order. And if you attend them, and then you can, and you qualify for like $150 plus pounds purchase, then they give you a free gift. And so when I ordered my collection, they actually put this cute little cosmetics bag in there. Isn't this cute? I don't think it's leather. It's probably, you know, it's probably plastic. But how cute is that? It's like a magnetic close. And definitely a cute makeup bag. So thanks SUQQU for that. And that was like, I think, a gift with a 150-pound order. And I'm pretty sure the pre-holiday collection and the pre-summer collection are color curation by the makeup artist based in Europe. The color curations of the pre-holidays and the I think it's pre-spring or pre-holiday, pre-summer. Sorry, I'll put the information below, are always super bright and super vibrant. Whereas if they just look at the regular summer release and the regular holiday release, those colors are more subdued. Now, I don't necessarily think of holiday when I look at these eye quads, but that's okay. That's totally fine. I knew I was going to get this blue quad when I saw it because I just love blue cool tones. This collection, the quality on this, it's a little bit more chunky and granular, and I don't want to take out all my signature eye palettes, but I have quite a few, and I'm hoping to do a video one day of just kind of showing you all about what I have. The shades at the bottom, particularly these shades, are really chunky, and they have a lot of fallout. So now that I know what I know, I'm gonna use these first and then put my makeup on, like my foundation and concealer on after. I actually found that I'm going to just put the primer down and not actually tamp it down with powder, because sometimes I don't want mattes and eyeshadows to stick. These are actually products where I do want them to stick, because I found that these did not stay very well. And I'll show you what I mean. So this blue shade, I'm using a HOUKIBOSI brush. You can see there's some kickback. Do you see that? And then I'm gonna put it on my hand just so you can see. It's just not really smooth laying down. And I have, do you see that? There's this, it's almost acts like a topper. There's not much tack to it. So I found that to be careful in it, because the more aggressive I am of it, it's starting to like kick back, and I don't want this to fall apart. So I'm actually just patting it down now. And then I found it was better to use like a patting motion with my finger. Do you see how much better it goes on? Do you see that? And it's almost like the brush was just making a mess of it. And I think if you don't know SUQQU, well, I know SUQQU, and that this is the first time like it's been troublesome for me to put on these, like, I would say they're like SUQQU special shades. I did not, and this is why, like, the more I like moved it with a brush, or if I didn't do this, I patted it down. It reminds me of like how you have to treat the Pat McGrath special shades, because they're beautiful, but like, boy, is she kind of a hot mess, like super fussy. So usually my like short fix for that was usually using glitter glue or this intensifies wand. And I used that for one of the looks, and it actually didn't help. It made it worse. So I don't know. I'd have to play with this more. Yeah, I think the intensifies wand could work. I think, again, I would have to just like tamp it down. Do you see that, how that did kick it up? And so it was definitely more impactful. So I'll do one side with the intensifies wand and without. So I'm grabbing that shade on the other quad where it's kind of the same texture, but beautiful. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so here it is if I were just to tap it on. And you can see it's not like super pigmented. Like I have to build it up. There we go. It's like almost like 2 to 3 passes. Right? I'm not swiping. I'm not using the brush because the brush didn't work. It just caused more fallout. And then on the intensifies here, where is the sticky tack? There it is. You can see where definitely the intensifies wand is, because it just grabs the product more. There we go. Prettier. So definitely this with the intensifies wand, and then just patting it down. Don't use a brush, use your finger. Treat it like a Pat McGrath Astral special shade. That said, I wasn't anticipating those 2 shades in these quads to be high maintenance. Like Pat McGrath. Like, that's kind of new to me. This is the first time I'm experiencing that in a SUQQU quad. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but I guess it was not an expected experience. And now I know how to use it, so I think it'll be better next time. But I don't know. I think I might have to pause if the formula is like that again. Here's my thoughts on it. Like, I have a lot of high-end luxury eyeshadows and some indie brands, and we all know the market is super saturated and competitive. You know, SUQQU has to compete with the likes of Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona for these special shades, and not only that, with like indie brands like Terra Moon, and Sydney Grace, where they have these special, like, I'm grabbing my Tiny Marbles palette. Like, they have these gorgeous shades, and they have tack. Like, look how gorgeous that shade is. Do you see that? And then they might have something like this. And look how creamy it is. Creamy, and there's like no fuss to it. It's almost the same color, right? But there's like, it goes on. Look at that. I mean, there's no fuss to that. And then look how beautiful that color is. This is the shade from the Mel Thompson palette. The first shade, sorry, let me tell you, that was Meadowhawk, and the other one's Scarab. Scarab is my favorite color in that palette. I guess I'm just put that out there because, do you need this quad? I don't think so. In some ways, I just showed you like where the showstopper shades are. If you have the Tiny Marbles palette, you could probably dupe this palette. I think it's part of the SUQQU experience that you know, some people don't have access to things like Sydney Grace. So if you have Sydney Grace, you probably don't need this. You probably have other colors in your collection. I'm looking at this now. I can really see there's a difference in, it looks like almost two different shades. I can see more of the nuances of the shade when it's using the wand, but by itself, it's just not as beautiful. What saved this look, I was getting a little frustrated with creating this look because it had so much fallout. What saved this look actually was this tone touch in the color 109. I think this is a special edition. So this is beautiful. I'm so happy I got that. I actually enjoy the blush more than the eyeshadow quad, just because I have a lot of eyeshadow quads I could probably dupe with that. So, and I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna focus some swatches on this quad. So again, I'll take that blue shade, this one here, and actually just gonna do swatches on my finger. Immediately thought of the Pat McGrath Interstellar Icon quad. This one, I think this was from 2 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of got a similar vibe. Let me show you. Not the same, but that blue shade, it reminded me of, and I actually think this blue shade is like way crumbly, but I think it's more beautiful. Let me just, so that's Pat McGrath. This is a SUQQU Pat McGrath. So the other is like more subdued. It's almost like SUQQU has more teal in it. This has like almost like a little purple in it. The NARS palette. So that NARS Climax palette, which I believe you can get like for like $11 or $14 at Nordstrom Rack. This was one of my favorite palettes last year. And it's that Climax palette. It is the color Night Rhythm. They have like almost like atrocious names. I hate them. They're all like just like too much illusions of sex, and they think it's coy, but it's just kind of embarrassing at this point. Yeah. Okay, so that is the color for the NARS Climax, this blue color here. And it's not exactly the same, but on the eyes, it's really hard to tell the difference. And in terms of quality, I would say I like this one better just because there's less fallout. I've used this blue a lot, and then this one second. Okay, I'm grabbing my Bridgerton palette, this one here, but I think it's more of a pastel blue. And this is definitely feels like more like that dry astral shade. Yeah, not the same. Okay, but I thought about that. It's that Bridgerton 6-pan, and this one's too teal. But I'll swatch that one as well. Okay, so those are all the blues I have in my collection. It's a lot of blue. If you have any of those quads of blues, you can totally dupe it. I just think what's usually I'm like, unequivocally you need one of these quads, but I think if you have blues in your collection, you probably have something that looks like this already. I think that the blush, if it's still available, that's what I would recommend, just because it's so unique. Do you see how beautiful that is? It's like this berry, but then it's got a coolness to it. So pretty. And again, I'm always going to recommend the SUQQU foundation. I have a video for the SUQQU foundation, and I'll put all my SUQQU playlists at the bottom in the description box. And I always put my closest foundation shades in the description box below so you can have a reference. My skin tone is medium tan, tan deep, depending on the season, with a more of a golden olive tone. And that is the SUQQU Liquid Foundation 35. It's one of my favorite. Look how just beautiful my skin looks. Like, it looks pretty flawless. And I didn't even put powder down on it. So it's just kind of got this like luminosity to this foundation. I'm pretty late putting up this SUQQU Pre Holiday Collection review. So if they're still for sale, I will link it down below directly or into like to know. Sometimes I just also contact the SUQQU counter at Selfridges directly, so I'll give you that information below as well. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing. It really helps out my channel with engagement. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers sometime this year, because then I can hopefully start to monetize. What a lot of people don't know about YouTube is that a lot of us pay out of pocket completely for all the makeup and material that we review, which is fine. But if I were to monetize and start to earn income, it just helps me buy more makeup so I can review for you and maybe buy better equipment. I am filming on an iPhone, which is actually really nice. The iPhone is like a really good quality, but you know, I would like to shift from using the iPhone of filming, and yeah, just things like that. It helps out my channel grow. And if you like the content, then consider subscribing and then pressing the notification button. And it also helps with my engagement if you consider commenting below and liking the video. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and share the video if you can. And as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. Take good care, beauty fam. Until the next video, take good care. Bye.